Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings, so these are not going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always defer to your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless both of my decks of, or should I say all of my decks of cards, with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. So I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So with that said, your key to the week this week is the Hermit card, right? So in a lot of ways, my dear Aries, it's interesting that you should have this card when your ruling planet Mars has just moved into the sign of Libra, right? So Libra is all about we. Your sign is all about me. So the fact that you have the Hermit card here, I think in a lot of ways this week you're going to start to be really acutely aware of where it is that you are either giving too much of yourself in your relationships or where you may need to pull back from a certain relationship. Remember, the Hermit card is about withdrawing from the world or pulling back from something so that you can gain a deeper sense of perspective. So this week, in a lot of ways, it does suggest that you are looking for, or rather you're going to be going on a journey of self-discovery through your interactions in your relationships, but more importantly, through the reciprocation that either is or isn't there. For your foundation card, you have the Star, right? I love this. And you couple these two together, in a lot of ways, this could be some of you really starting to take stock of where you are in order for that next step for the future. For some of you, this could be a powerful insight that comes in after what has been, quite frankly, a difficult time. For a lot of Aries that I've seen, it looks like you guys have been going through a bit of a dark night of the soul. Maybe not as intense as other ones that you might have had, but this suggests to me that there is a realization this week of what it is that needs to change or what it is that needs to be tweaked. Now, the fact that you have the Star card as the foundation means that there is hope for everything and anyone that you are tied to, first of all, and all of your relationships, absolutely, but more importantly for yourself. All right. So before we get into the sections, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. So for your actions and options this week, you've got the Fool card, right? So I actually really like this because it suggests that in a lot of ways this week there are going to be new things, new connections being forged, but also the realizations that you're having now set you on a new path. There is a new sense of wisdom, a newfound sense of self that is coming in this week. And you know, the fact that you've got this under the guise of the Hermit card, this could be you deciding to go back to the drawing board with something and say, right, okay, I may not be able to turn back the clock, but I can start again with the knowledge that I have now. Love this, all right? The fact that you have the Fool card here as well, the Fool card has that very youthful, vibrant, new energy about it. And in a lot of ways, this could be you feeling or getting refreshed in some way. For your communications and conversations, you have the Five of Swords, right? So this is interesting because the fact that your ruling planet is in the sign of Libra is going to give you an ability to argue in a more refined sense. Now, I say this with all sorts of love. I have so many friends that are Aries. I've got 3 of them in my family that I'm actually relatively close to, especially one of them because it's my mum, who's a double Aries, I might add. But Aries energy is not necessarily known for its refinement, right? It's very bold, it's very direct, it's very energetic, dynamic, protective even, you know, defensive as well, yes. But the fact that your ruling planet Mars has moved into Libra makes your arguments not only more concise, but it makes them more refined. Use this energy to your advantage. Mars is going to be in Libra now for what, the next sort of 5 to 6 weeks. So you've got time to really assimilate this into you Now, the fact that you have the Five of Swords, this week you are going to come up against some roadblocks when it comes to communications, when it comes to the interpersonal connections and relationships in some way, shape or form. The Five of Swords is basically asking you to think before you speak, think before you open your mouth. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, that Five of Swords with the Hermit card, this week you could feel like you're out of the team, right? You might feel like you're on the outskirts with everybody pointing fingers or whispering and all the rest of it. And it's because whatever your opinion is, it's going to be the unpopular one this week. But to be completely honest with you, it's kind of like you don't really care. Now, you guys are brave enough to go out on a limb on your own anyway, which is one of the things that I love about Aries energy, right? But it also suggests to me that you're going to feel this, right? So in a time where your ruling planet is in the sign of Libra, which is all about relationships, partnerships, connections, collaborations, to feel so outside the group or on your own could be quite, you might really feel that here. Now, for those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, similar kind of energy. The difference is, it's kind of like when you're in charge, you don't have to care what anybody else thinks, right? It's kind of like the saying that says the lion's really not concerned with the opinions of sheep, right? And it kind of is that energy, but it's even more than that. This week, you need to find a way to be an effective leader, to do the thing where you are in command or in charge, but to do it in a way that is diplomatic, because whatever you put into motion now, remember it is the Five of Swords, whatever you put into motion now, you may reap the rewards of later, and they might not all be rewards that you're hoping for. For those of you that are retired or no longer working, that Five of Swords, I mean, if I'm honest, especially with the Hermit card, again, there's this whole thing about you. It's not even that you're all being banished, but it's like all the Aries this week, you're going to feel that sense of being on the outside. And if I'm honest, I actually feel like that's where you need to be at the moment for that greater sense of perspective. All right, for your love and relations, you've got the High Priest. In this deck, it's called the High Priest, literally, but it is the Hierophant card. Now, you've got this here for love, right? For those of you that are partnered, married, or in relationships, I really like this. Whatever arguments, challenges, and issues you and your partner have this week, they are going to take you to a new level of commitment. They're going to take the relationship to the next level. So while it's happening, you might think, oh, holy fuck, this is awful, right? And it may very well be. You might feel like you just can't seem to get it right, but there's going to be a point at which this week where it switches and you think, okay, you know what, I get this person, or they get me, and actually this is what we need to change. So there are points of realization here which could be really good. For those of you that are single and ready to mingle or looking, in a lot of ways, the Hierophant suggests that whoever or whatever is coming in, one, in terms of their characteristics, this is likely to be somebody that's older. It's likely to be somebody that's either very well established or it works in a field that is considered quite sort of rigid and stuffy, not necessarily a bad thing. The other part of this as well, this person could be highly educated or decorated in some way. And then finally, what this really speaks to me about is whoever comes into your world over the course of this week, I'm going to say it's not going to be an easy connection, but there is something about them that could very much be for the longer term. So keep that in mind. And then finally, for your money and materials, you have the Chariot card. So look at this, right? We are 3 for 3 at this point. 3 major cards. That's a lot of big, bold, powerful energy. And whenever there's this many major cards in a single spread, what do we say, right? We say that this means there are no accidents here. This is bigger, fated stuff working on, in, and through your life in some way, shape, or form, which I absolutely love, right? Now, because it is the Chariot card, this could see a boost to the finances. I have to say, because you've got that Five of Swords there, this might be the way that the money comes in. You have to fight for it. You have to defend it. You have to speak your mind. You have to prove why you're worth this. You have to, in a lot of ways, maybe you're having to yeah, not necessarily prove yourself, but maybe you're having to work harder for this money. So the chance to improve your finances is there, or the money that you're hoping for or waiting for is coming, but you are going to have to do some sort of extra work for it. It's not just going to fall in your lap. If you're waiting on a financial decision of any kind, this week that financial decision settles, and it settles in your favor. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I mean, it's the Chariot card. So the one thing that I will say to you is this week, slow down. Take your time, right? With everything and anything that you do, slow down, right? This is a really good week for you to do things that are going to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is what helps you naturally calm down. So for some people it's massage, for some people it's martial arts, for some people it's a run or a jog, for some people it's a bike ride, for some people it's meditation. Whatever the thing is that brings you into that space of calm and personal alignment is what you need to invest in more this week. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, for some of you, it does look like the home front is going to get loud and possibly fast this week. You may be pulled into something that either has nothing to do with you, or you may choose to do the hermit, right? And say, actually, you know what? This has got nothing to do with me. So as much as I care, you let me know when it's done. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.